where Hoopty Fest is going on up in New Hampshire. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. Actually, this is Nick Pons substituting for Jay. He either is putting on the safety drivers meeting, or he's made a run for the border. One of the two.
Well, I've you're only a couple hundred miles maybe from Canada, so maybe that's where he's headed.
Yeah, that might be it. Looking for better weather, maybe.
Well, I think your weekend's going to be great, though. It's from what I understand. So tell us a little history about 24 hours of. I don't even want to pronounce it incorrectly, just so I don't confuse it with Lemons.
Well, it's lemons, just like the fruit, and like the terrible cars that participate in our race.
And what's the deal with it? Now, I met a guy once, the name on the side of his car was Small Fortune Racing, and I asked him about that, and he said, well, if you're lucky when you're racing, if you start with a large fortune, at the end of your racing season, if you have a small fortune left, it was a really good season of racing. But you guys, you need $500 to go racing, right?
Yeah, that's correct. The cars have to be built and prepared and completed for no more than $500. Not including the safety equipment, because we take that seriously, but engine, suspension, everything that it takes for the car to go around the track, no more than $500.
So that qualifies. I can do a lot of bargain shopping at salvage yards.
Absolutely. Craigslist, junkyards, your mother-in-law's driveway. There's a lot of good places to find cheap cars out there.
Now how do you know people really only spend $500 on cars? How do I, maybe somebody who's borrowing their ex-wife's 2008 Mercedes or something, and they said, well, it's only worth $500.
Yeah, well, we've got a very technical inspection system called the BS inspection, and basically you plead your case in front of our expert panel of judges, and they decide whether your story is BS or not. And if they decide that it is, that you've overspent on the $500 cap, then you get penalized negative laps. So
I thought
everybody
maybe they
else
took a
starts
tire
on lap
off.
0, and you're starting maybe at negative 100. So that's how that works.
Well, that's better than my idea would be take one tire away.
Yeah. Well, we've considered stuff like that, or take a spark plug out.
Yeah, exactly. And so we enter into this race. We spend $500, but we wear good helmets and maybe a race suit, and roll cage is mandatory.
Yeah, the safety stuff is more or less what you'd find at a quote-unquote real race. We didn't start out that way, thinking that, hey, it's a joke race, we don't need to be as serious about that stuff. But then we realized that this is actually probably more dangerous than real racing. So we've steadily ramped up the safety requirements over the years, and I think people are thankful that we did.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, is there some sort of technical inspection to make sure that, like, the control arm isn't going to fall off on the second lap, and you're going to take out half the people?
We're pretty lenient on general wear and tear, because obviously for $500 cars, you're going to see a lot of that. But yeah, things like the frame is going to separate from the rest of the vehicle, stuff like that. We do inspect, and all the safety equipment as well.
Well, that's good. And what kind of cars typically end up in this race? Is it, I when I think of this, I think generally of, if you could go out and find the, 15-year-old Honda Civic or Corolla or something that might be a little bit fun. Maybe even if you were able to find a good old, rear-wheel drive Mustang or something like that is pretty beat up that you could get for $400 or $500 maybe. But is there a big variety of vehicles that end up in this?
Yeah, well, there's a huge variety. The cars that you mentioned are definitely bread and butter, 80s economy, sporty cars, stuff like that. But what we found is people, car guys tend to gravitate to one, certain style of car, and people tend to do what they do. So if you're a Volkswagen guy, you'll go and try to find a really cheap Volkswagen, and if you're a Nissan guy, you'll try to find a beater Nissan. There's no magic solution to being successful. There's no single brand or model that wins every time. So yeah, it's definitely certainly a very diverse starting grid.
And how much of it is a combination of good racing and luck?
Well, there absolutely is an element of luck because, with these cars, it could break down pulling off the trailer or it could run great for the entire weekend. You really don't know. But we also have seen that teams who really pay attention to the strategy, pay attention to really getting all the details right, making good pit stops, not doing stupid things out on track, over time that does result in success. And we've got a couple of teams. There's a team called Eyesore Racing out of California that we jokingly call the New York Yankees of Lemons Racing because they just go out there, they do everything right, and never seem to have any major slip-ups.
Well, I don't know if that – you might have to change your name for this year.
Yeah. Well, how about the San Francisco Giants of Lemons Racing?
But the race that's going on up in New Hampshire, you guys are up at NHIS this weekend.
Yeah, we're at NHMS, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, out in Loudon, which is a NASCAR facility. Beautiful place. It really is kind of ridiculous to see the big grandstands and then watch 120 some odd crap cans driving around. But yeah, it's a great place. The track staff is wonderful. It's affiliated with Speedway Children's Charities, so we're raising some money for them. They've put on some Halloween-related activities. There's a pumpkin shooting contest. There's a potato gun contest.
Now we're talking.
Later on this afternoon. So yeah, it's a good time.
So I was going to say it sounds like redneck racing, but
Yeah.
But the facility up there, it's a phenomenal facility up there. It's a great facility, and you're right to bring $500 cars up there. I have to wonder if there's someone out there sweeping up afterwards.
Yeah, well, this is the third time we've been here, and frankly, each time we're kind of surprised that they allow us back or invite us back.
I'm like that with a lot of places. You'd be surprised how often I don't
Yeah.
get asked back. But
Yeah.
so take us through the steps if you have a couple minutes. I just stumbled across a $400 Ford Fairmont with a V8 in it. And I want to race it. How do I do that with you guys? What do I need to do?
Well, first of all, we'd congratulate you on a terrible yet excellent choice of vehicle. With old cars we love, big, ridiculous old cars we love even more, so that fits right in with that. You will need to outfit it with all of our safety equipment, which is a roll cage, safety harness, fire extinguisher, and get yourself outfitted with safety gear.
Yeah.
We've got a kit available on our website that gives you everything you need if you're starting from scratch. But basically, standard fire suit, shoes, gloves, helmet.
Yep.
And then you submit a team entry. And our teams, you have to have a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 6 drivers. And once you've got all that set, apply for a race. Hopefully you get in. There's some competition for certain races. We max out a couple of the facilities that we go to. And assuming all of that goes well, then you just show up. We require a license, which is good for a year, and unlike some other sanctioning bodies, our licensing requirements, there's no school, there's no training you need to go through. It's just a fee you pay to keep it current, and that's it. No experience required, no racing knowledge or anything like that. Just show up and have a good time.
Now, is a real license required?
Yeah. Well, our insurance provider said, well, you got to have something. So we agreed on a street driver's license.
Okay.
Being the only requirement.
Okay, so it sounds pretty straightforward. And how much is the cost of the license for a year?
So it's $50, and it's good for a whole year.
Yep. And the entry fee to enter a race?
It depends. The entry fee for a team is $500.
Okay.
And then for each driver, it's $100.
Okay.
So if you got a team of 4 drivers, it'd be $900 for the team.
And $500 for a car.
Yeah. Oh well, you're not required to spend the maximum on a car. We've seen some free cars out here running around.
Well, so for the price of 2 race tires on a real car, you can go racing for the weekend.
Absolutely. It's one of the best, if not the best, bangs for the buck in terms of track time that you can find out there.
And I got to think, Bang, there's some of that goes on too, right?
There is. We try to keep it to a minimum, just in the interest of safety. But if an incident does happen, at the very least, you're only out a $500 car.
Exactly. And the event this weekend it's called Hoopty Fest?
Yeah, it's called the Halloween Hoopty Fest, and it goes on both today and tomorrow. There's an overnight break. We don't go 24 hours all the way through on this one.
Besides, it gets cold in New Hampshire.
So it's 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. today, and then 9 a.m. to 4:30 tomorrow.
And you guys run 2 races up in New Hampshire?
We do. We had one in May of this year, and assuming again that we're surprised to learn that they're inviting us back. I'd imagine that we'll do 2 again next year.
Well, I think I might have a project in my future.
Get that Fairmont ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, Nick, thanks for taking some time out of your Saturday morning. I know it must be busy up there with all the stuff going on, but it sounds like a great event. And people can find the 24 Hours of Lemons on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we've got our own YouTube channel, just 24 Hours of Lemons, and it's also linked to our website, which is 24hoursoflemons.com.
Sounds great. Thanks,
all right,
and
thank you.
Good luck up there in Trick or Treat.
All right, you
all
as
right,
well.
Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Nick Pons from the 24 Hours of Lemons, and interesting concept. Be able to go racing on a real track for $500, so $1,500 maybe you can get racing. Sounds kind of fun. Might be one of those things. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Joe in Arlington, our buddy Joe. And if you want to join us, 617-770-3030, 617-770-3030. We'll be right back.
WROL Boston.
Imagine an almost endless supply of inexpensive hot water for your home. It's almost like a dream. Even better, it's a Rheem. Yes, Economy Plumbing and Heating is your authorized Rheem dealer, offering Rheem tankless water heaters, gas water heaters, air conditioners, even solar-powered systems. And because Economy has a large storage area, they can order Rheem products in large supply, saving you even more. So relax. It's Rheem from Economy Plumbing and Heating. Call 617-433-1200 or visit economyplumbing.com. Economy Plumbing and Heating.
The bill pay shuffle. You just did it. Can't pay this bill, stall this bill, pay this bill, or else. Shuffling bills, loans, and working overtime are not your answer. Earning more money is, but you have so little time. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com. With a computer and a bit of time and desire, you could be banking serious money from your kitchen table. No home sales parties and no pressure. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com has been helping our listeners for over 10 years. So stop the bill pay shuffle. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com. Listeners, here's an amazing way to earn quit your job money from home. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com wants listeners who want to work from home.
I have to tell you, it's the best decision that I ever made because we replaced my income and my husband's income. This business has allowed us to quit our jobs, and we're both at home full-time and loving it. Best decision I ever made.
They're even giving away $1,000 to someone just for checking them out. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com. IncomeAtHomeUSA.com.
It's a shame when resources are wasted. Like when the Pats intercept the ball but don't score, or the Sox leave runners on 3 bases. There may be money for education available right under your nose, not being used. Some companies offer help with tuition for employees who want to go back to school. Does yours? The LEAD program of adult studies at Eastern Nazarene College partners with businesses to offer reduced tuition and, in some cases, teaching in the office. If enough employees wish to study with the LEAD program, LEAD will send its professors to your workplace. If you've been thinking about getting your associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree with LEAD, go to enc.edu and click on Adult Studies. And then ask your human resources coworker if your company has a partnership with LEAD. Make the touchdown, hit a homer, reach your goals with ENC LEAD. Call Bill Driscoll at 877-ENC-LEAD, 877-ENC-LEAD, and ask for Bill Driscoll.